Hello everybody, welcome back to the Arsenal Fan Reviews channel, and I'm here today joined by a couple of Arsenal fans as we have just drawn 0-0 in the Premier League at the Emirates with Manchester United. It was an eventful clash, there were some injuries, crossbar hits, all sorts, but it was still a stalemate, just like some of the other big games. So Mike, thanks for coming on the channel, how are you?
I'm well, thanks Thomas, how are you?
I'm great, thank you, and Max, how are you?
All good, thank you mate, very good, thank you.
Awesome. So, Mike, I'll start with you. What are your thoughts on the game overall?
Well, I've got an apology. I'm going to start with an apology. Everyone needs an apology. I said on Thursday night that I wasn't a fan of David Luiz, and today I'm still not a fan, but today I thought he did extremely well. And I thought he had one of the best games I've seen from David Luiz. But the game itself, I thought it was good for the sort of neutral. And I just hated when Man United went forward. My heart was in my mouth all the time knowing we was going to have this afterwards. But that was good. It was a good game.
Yeah, I mean, so there was, like you said, it was quite exciting at some points. The scoreline doesn't really justify that. But still, overall, I mean, a decent result for Arsenal today, but what about you, Max?
Yeah, a bit disappointed. I think the momentum would have taken us on to a guaranteed 6th place, I think, at least. But yeah, I'm not. I don't know how I feel. I thought there'd be a result there. I thought we might get 3 points.
Yeah, I mean, I was really hoping for the win, but I'm still quite happy with that. I mean, United have been on form. Their away form, they haven't lost away for a year and a half or so now, so I'm quite happy with that. That's 4 points out of a potential 6 we've got against United this season, so overall, pretty good. It takes us up to, I believe we stay in, 8th place or 9th place. Yep. But let's get into some player ratings. So, Leno, out of 10, Mike?
It didn't have a huge amount to do, but it was in the right place at the right time. I thought when United had that really big scare with, oh crikey, the forward for Man United, I've forgotten his name right now, but when he went up and...
Cavani?
Rashford, there you go.
Oh,
when Rashford was up there and he came down, and he closed him down, and then about 3 or 4 other Arsenal players came up, and he was all over him at the end, and he lost his bottle, Rashford, and they just closed him down. He couldn't do anything. So I thought he was pretty good. I think as a score, do you want a score from me?
Yeah, out of 10, please.
Out of 10, I would say 8 out of 10.
8? What about you, Max?
Yeah, I'd go for a solid 8. He didn't do anything wrong. I thought he was really good. He looks so good on the ball now.
Yeah, I'm going to have to agree with you there. Like you said about the Rashford chance, I'm surprised he never scored that. I mean, there were so many Arsenal players, but luckily he never. And yeah, I thought Leno was decent. I'm going to go with an 8 as well. Done nothing wrong, but honestly, there wasn't too much to do for him, especially in that second half. But moving on to Cedric. Max, I'll start with this one.
I think since it's being played out of position, I'd go for a 7. I think, yeah, a 7, I would say.
Mike?
I thought he had a solid game myself. I was going to go 8.5 for Cedric because I thought he had a really solid game. I thought he was, especially when we had that problem in the goal area and his right foot came into play in the second half and he did that superb clearance out of the penalty area. I thought Cedric had a good game.
So 8.5 for you? Yeah,
I reckon 8.5 again for him.
I'm going to go with an 8, the same as Leno, like you said. Out of position, but it was still really, really good. So I can't wait till we can see Tierney back in the team and playing him out on the right again. So I think overall, a really good game for him. But Holding, Mike?
Holding didn't have a lot to do, really. He wasn't really that involved. I'd say a 6.5, 6.5 for him. It wasn't really a great... He wasn't involved, really.
All right, Max?
Yeah, 7 from me for Holding. I think David Luiz was the main man at the back, but Holding's just doing what he's doing at the minute. He seems in good form. Very rarely makes any kind of mistake at all. Good on the ball as well.
Yeah, I'm going to agree. I'm going to go with a 7 as well. I mean, we gave him that new contract, and lots of fans are against it. But I think, especially for the form he's in at the moment, he's doing all right. He's kept a clean sheet today as well in the past couple of games. So I'm quite happy. 7. Louise, Max?
He was very good today. Apart from that free kick, which it's going over the bar, I'd say give him an 8.5, touching 9. If we're doing 0.5s, I'll go 8.5 though.
All right. Mike?
This hurts. This hurts so bad because I'm not a great lover of David Luiz, but I would say for his efforts today, and also that celebration was priceless. That celebration was cracking.
I don't think give him credit for that though, because he actually properly took his head to the side. That could have gone in. You just don't know. But I think he did more. He should have got more credit for that block than he actually did.
Well, they said on the TV that he's a good goal scorer as well, and that's the sort of celebration you do when you score. But he's a defender, so that's a celebration we want to see, a bit of passion. So I'm going to say, I hate saying this, 9.
9.
9 for David Luiz. I know it hurts.
I'm not going to go that high. I'm going to go with an 8.5 as well. But honestly, he was really good today. And I thought, especially coming up against players such as Cavani, who are also really experienced, he'd probably be the best option. And, most Arsenal fans, including myself, were right. He did do really well. But let's go up to right back, Bellerin, Mike.
Bellerin, I thought, had a cracking game. Whether it's because he's got the captain's armband on, he was all over it. He was up and down that pitch. He worked really hard. I'm going to say an 8.5 for Bellerin. He was really involved in the game.
Max?
Yeah, I'd say a 7. I think, or 7, between 7 and 7.5. I'd probably go a 7. I think he was really good up against Pogba. And then when that kind of changed, the game kind of changed for a little bit, and he didn't really get as involved. But I'd go for a 7.
I'm going to go for a 7.5. I think he did play quite well. He got lots of balls in the box, was good with crosses, but he definitely wasn't as good for Cedric as for me. But moving into the midfield, Xhaka. I'll start with Mike.
I didn't think he had his best game today. No. I was a little bit disappointed with him. He's a good player. He's a skillful player. I would say a 7 for him.
Max?
Probably go for a 7, but it's good to see him in some kind of form. He hasn't been my favourite player for a long time now, and him and Partey seem to be doing something there. And if anything, Partey might have been more wasteful, but I guess we'll get on to him. So I'd say a 7.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. I'm going to go with a 7 as well. They really do complement each other, the two players, and he's been on form recently. I've not been the biggest lover of him either, but I think recently, he's been pretty good, especially with defence as well. And then he can drive forward. But moving on to Partey, I'll start with Max.
Yeah, I mean, I love him. What he does, and he is the closest we can watch to Patrick Vieira. The way he just glides through sometimes. He looks like he's going to pass it, and then all of a sudden he's in acres of space. But then there was times today we were on breaks, and he was just there was really sloppy passes, about even 5 or 6 of them. So I would probably give him a 6.5, but I love him.
Mike, sorry.
I 100% agree with Max there. I think he's great potential, Vieira-esque potential, and I would say 6.5, but there was a lot of sloppy passes going on.
Yeah,
and weak, soft.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I completely agree. I mean, I've got his name on the back of one of my shirts, but honestly, today he just wasn't it. I mean, like you said, so many passes so many balls he was giving away. It wasn't a great performance, unfortunately, but it's weird as he's been so good recently, but still, he was okay, 6.5. Moving into the front three, Martinelli, Mike?
I was gutted he came off.
Yeah.
I was gutted he came off. I thought he was having a great game. He was opening them up. And I thought, no, don't bring him on. No, Willian is coming on and Martinelli's going off. Give the guy a bit of time, bit of running chart. He really was. He was all over the place. He even was getting back into defence and filling there. I thought he had a great game. I would give him, bearing in mind it's only one half of a game, but I would score him for the whole game. I would say 7.5.
Yeah, I'm going to go 7.5 as well, because I thought it was a pretty negative change from Arteta, that was, because he, like you said, was doing really well to bring on someone like Willian for him. But Max?
Yeah, I think it was a bit early. There must be some reason why he came off, because that's a bit unlike him, really. Especially as a like for like. It wasn't like a change of formation or anything like that. But I liked him when he was on, but he's just so rustic, isn't he? Like sometimes you just don't know what he's going to do. Like the ball's like bouncing around in front of him. It's not like it stays across the floor the whole time. Willian's just a bit of a tidier player, although I'm much favourable to Martinelli. Yeah, I'd say 6.5 for a half.
Lacazette had a few good chances today, especially from that free kick when he hit the bar. What do you think, Max?
Yeah, I like him a lot. I think as like a lone man up front, he does take a lot of responsibility on his shoulders, and that strike was fantastic. I think his hold-up play is really good, and it was good today. Just needed probably a clear chance, so 6.5 or 7, 6.5. Just need that chance.
I'm going to go with a 7 as well. I mean, he did have those chances, and he was pretty good. I mean, he's just another one of those players who's been on form recently, but unfortunately, like you said, never really got his chance today. But what do you think about him, Mike?
I thought he was a little bit shy today, personally. But in saying that, I love the way he uses his body strength. The commentators constantly say that he's backing into players and letting players fall over the top of him. He's using his strength in his body to shield the ball when the ball comes down. It's up to the other side if they want to fall over the top of him. Sadly, he came to blows with the that style of play on the 90th minute. And when he went down, I thought he was knocked out. I thought he was out for the count because he didn't move. And I was out of my seat going, oh, no, what is going on? But I think he, as Max said, he had the responsibility of the sole striker up there. I think he was a little bit hiding in sometimes. He wasn't up there as much as I'd like to have seen him. I'm going to say a 7.
7? Yeah, I mean, that challenge you did mention, although it did go United's way, I think I was a bit worried as well when he was first down on the ground, but he should be okay now. But let's get on to Smith Rowe. What do you think, Mike? I'll start with you.
Again, I was surprised he came off. But in saying that, I'm pleased he came off because we actually get to see a little bit of Odegaard. I thought it was great to see him come on. And, okay, it was said on Thursday night I wanted him to do in the start, but he was going to come on the end. And one of the people watching actually said that he'll come on and score a goal in the last minute. I was waiting for that to come true. He looked lively. He looked like he had the passion. He looked like he was all over the pitch. He was watching. He was trying to get involved. He wanted to make a mark. For the small amount of time he played, I would still say that we haven't actually seen him, so I'm still going to say 7.
I'm going to go with a Smith Rowe. Yeah, Smith Rowe.
Oh, sorry. Sorry.
The Smith Rowe happening. I was like, where's he going with Smith Rowe? Hey.
All right, Smith Rowe. Smith Rowe, for the time he played, I thought he was excellent. I like seeing him. He's got passion, he's got movement, and he wants to get involved. I'm going to say 7.5 for Smith Rowe. There you go.
Yeah, I'm going to go with I'm going to go with a 7.5 as well. He was pretty lively, like you said, all over the pitch. And again, another one, I'm not sure why he came off so early. Oh, not so early, but why he came off at all. But yeah, it was great to see Odegaard. He did look pretty good, but of course we'll get on to him in a second. But Max, what do you think of him today?
Yeah, I thought it was good today. He just makes it look so easy in attack. Like the one touch around the corner, and like that just speeds everything up for us. And he probably brought in Pepe quite a lot to the game as well, whereas normally he's not as involved. So I think he was good for other people around him. He kind of makes them play a bit better in the final third on their side. So I'd say 7.
Awesome. So moving on to the final player in the starting 11, that was of course Pepe. Max, what do you think of him?
It takes a lot to get out of him, like to make me like him. But today it's nice to see him play. He played 90 minutes, didn't he? Today he got the whole 90.
Yeah.
I think he did. I'm pretty sure he did. So it was good. It was good actually. I'd say 6.5. Sometimes just maybe a few too many touches. I think the chances where he just tried to curl it round the post or they just went round the post. Maybe he's just tunnel vision, and that was what he was going to do, because maybe I think Lacazette was in quite a good position on one of them. But sometimes they will go in, and then we'll be praising him and we'll remember them goals. But it was just one his day today. So I'd say 6.5.
Yeah, I'm going to go with a 7. I mean, it was quite unfortunate that, of course, Saka was injured. He's got a sore hip, but hopefully should be back soon. But it was a huge miss for us. And I mean, of course, with Tierney still out and those sorts of players, 3 of our stars, really, we were missing today. So I'm decent, I'm quite happy with the result. But, of course, it meant that Pepe had to go back out onto the right again, whereas last game he played really well on the left. So that was quite unfortunate for him. But hopefully next game he should be back there, and overall I'm going to go with a 7, as I said. But what do you think, Mike?
First word about Pepe, disappointing today. Like Partey, he a bit sloppy on the passes, bit slow on his movement. He wanted to hold the ball up and look around, and they shut him down. As soon as he was playing, he's sort of like, well, I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to pass it over there, and it's gone. Someone was on him. He was just too laid back in his approach. We needed a little bit of a snap to him. So I'm going to say 6.5. I was going to say 6.
Yeah. All right, so let's get on to the bench. So, of course, the first man was Odegaard. What do you think, Mike?
I thought he wanted to get involved. He wanted to make his mark. He looked lively. He looked fresh. For the time that he played, I would say 7.5.
7.5. Yeah, I'm going to go with a 7. I don't know. It was confusing because, of course, he only did manage to get about 10 minutes in or so. But yeah, I'm going to go with the same as well, 7.5. He did look lively. He wanted to go out there, get the ball. He created a few chances as well, and overall looks quite good. Max, what do you think of him?
Yeah, it was a difficult one. It's just like how is he going to fit in with Smith Rowe? Are we going to now drop Smith Rowe to then play Odegaard when Smith Rowe is like a committed Arsenal player, and they're very, very similar. Like you watch him today, and he's like intricate around the 18-yard box. Like he wants that first touch ball, exactly like we were saying with Smith Rowe. So it's just where does it leave Smith Rowe really?
Well, but Arteta has said
like a 7, 6, 6. I'll go 6.
6. Arteta has said that there is room for Smith Rowe and Odegaard to be on the pitch at the same time. So does that mean that he's looking at his formations to put those two on together?
So it's difficult to think where they'll fit.
I guess we could maybe see both of them, where Xhaka and Partey plays instead of Xhaka, you could potentially see Odegaard. But it is a hard one because they're both such promising players, and it would be a shame to get, of course, Odegaard on loan. Then, of course, he just goes back with hardly any games under his belt. But let's go on to the second substitute. This was, of course, Nketiah, who came on for Lacazette. Mike, what do you think?
6.5. He could have got more involved, fresh legs. He could have made a difference, but he wasn't really given enough time, or he just didn't pull his finger out.
He only had a couple of minutes.
Yeah,
I think he had like 3 minutes, and he had 2 minutes, something like that.
But 2 minutes. Yeah, he could have scored. I would have given him more points, but he didn't, so I won't.
All right, then. Well, I'm going to go with a 6.5 because, of course, he never really had any time to prove himself at all. But, in the past couple of games, he hasn't been good enough at all. So I personally think we should maybe think about loaning him out again. But just for this game, 6.5. Didn't really have any time. But Max?
Yeah, I'd say 6. I don't know my feelings with Nketiah at the minute, because I feel like he has had chances and then not really taken them. So I'm happy for him coming on for like 5-10 minutes at the end, but that's probably about the much game time as he probably get at the minute. He's better off going on loan, I think, again. But yeah, we'll see.
And of course, the final player featured today was Willian. Max, what do you think?
Yes. So like his performance actually wasn't that bad. It's like sometimes he had that chance, didn't he? Well, that chance could have sealed it, or could have started the second half much better for us. But difficult. His delivery was good. He was very he played very well. To be fair, I'd probably go 7.5.
7.5. I'm gonna give him a 7. He seemed okay. Had a couple chances, as you said, to put us ahead, and he didn't really take them at all. But didn't do too much wrong either. Mike, what do you think of him?
I like the idea when he first came to Arsenal. I thought he's a great buy. He's a great player. He's got a lot of speed, a lot of passion. I just not been that impressed since he's joined us. And today's performance, I thought he did well. I'm going to say a 7.
7. Yeah, he looked okay, but didn't do too much. But yeah, that about wraps it up. So we've got RD12 here giving Leno a 7 out of 10. So yeah. I don't know. I think he could have potentially got more, but again, not too much to do apart from a couple chances. But again, that about wraps it up. Thank you everybody so much for watching. Thank you, Mike. Thank you, Max, for joining me on the channel. After this pretty just okay game, not too much to say about it. Not much happened, but still, like you said at the beginning, Mike, for the neutral, was an enjoyable viewing. But yeah, like, subscribe, share, and comment, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.